For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in our country. Our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. I want to start by giving all glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. On the brother I'm one for down to Florida, from the camp props of Babylon. Come with another quick hit to the spirit power by YAHWASHI. We're wanting to edify and feed the sheep. The Bible said I was an apostle, great MILLSTONE, teacher well. Peace and blessings to the brothers who are pushing this work into sincerity, to this guy abroad. All right, as you can see it, all right, here's a video. You have it where the government, all right, of the UK has now made it known, okay, amongst this global global meeting, okay, for lack of better words. It says new digital ID will be mandatory to work in the UK. All right, new digital ID will be mandatory to work in the UK. All right, and I have an article, all right, going into it, which, you know, we know that this is all a part of Esau Edom's plans, man. Okay, we know that these devils are working towards, all right, bringing out that M to the O to the T to the B, all right, going into that RFID C-hip, man. And this is all just, you know, prelude, you know, to what they want to do. You know, this is just a build-up, all right, to make these things known and to introduce this to the people. It has to go a certain way, all right. We know once the UK is in, you know, motion with these things, so is the US, you see. So we know that, you know, this all has a structured plan, all right, from what we can see through the spirit, man. Because see, these devils, you know, they ain't too bright upstairs, man. All right, we know that they've been slipping up, they've been, you know, making mistakes, and they've just been sloppy with it. At this point, they're just saying to hell with it. You know, we're gonna just make it known. All right, and this is what the process of that is. You know, he just blatantly out just saying, you know what, you know, we're gonna make this digital ID mandatory, okay? And we all know that through the spirit, man, this is all, you know, the next step, okay, before the final step of them introducing that RFID C-hip, man, okay? But I'm gonna read a little bit of this article, okay? And, you know, once again, you know, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. You know, this ain't gonna be too long, but straight to the point. All right, because we already know that Esau Edom, okay, the so-called white man, is working, and this is a part of his schemes. This is a part of his gradualism to you know, have everyone to come in under that, you know, NWO, man. All right, that new world order, that system, okay, it's all of it that's being put in play. So this is an article, BBC News, all right, reads new digital ID will be mandatory to work in the UK. All right, and this is you know, this is being, you know, pretty much mixed up, all right, in that little pot of theirs, all right, due to this whole illegal immigrant thing, man. Okay, so they've been, you know, seeing it, certain problems have been taking place with this whole illegal immigrant thing. So now he's, proposing this as a better solution to identify those who are supposed to be here or not. You see? So it reads down. It says, and this was September 26, 2025. All right. It says digital ID will be mandatory in order to work in the UK, and this is all steps that's leading to what they're gonna do ultimately, all right, with that RFID chip, man. Okay, but this is a part, of course. It's only one step closer to what they really want to do. All right, just like they did with the C-19 Jabberwockies, man. All right, they made it where people couldn't go into businesses. All right, couldn't take planes, couldn't do anything. All right, you couldn't even work without having that jab, man. And now they're pulling this out of the woodworks. Okay, and this is major. This ain't something small. All right, scriptures speak about being not ignorant to a small or great, roughly paraphrasing, because these damn devils, man, they know how to smoothly introduce things, all right beneath your nose. All right, if you're not watching or not seeing that, how these devils is moving, easily this will catch you off guard. And millions of people who are in the know, all right, are going to be taken by this when it comes to the U.S., man. Okay, but continue. It says digital ID will be mandatory in order to work in the UK as part of plans to tackle illegal immigrants, illegal immigration. Okay, so there it is. They are going to introduce and bring this out, okay, in the form of saying, all right, look, we're going to, solve the problem by introducing this digital ID. All right, however they go about it, how they do it, we're not ignorant to these things, right? Which I'm going to grab right quick. We can go back to it. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, and I believe you read that in NLT or the TNT, one of those two. But it says, for we're not ignorant of his schemes. Okay, those are his plots and plans. So we know that this devil's working. Okay, but how he is working and going about it, all right, that's what you're watching for. That's what you're looking and seeing. All right, and we're not ignorant to it, man. All right, through the spin part by MILLSTONE. This devil's been working on this thing for how long now? Forever. All right, and we're seeing it start with the elders and apostles, great millstone and down. It's all getting closer and closer. All right, what's that? Going into Habakkuk 2 and 3. All right, but I'm gonna get a little bit more of this article. All right, going into it, because see, we know that these devils, been working up something up the sleeves, with all these things happening and all these distractions and all this World War III talk. It's all in the works. It's all in the works. And now we see this. But continuing, it says, Circuit Streamer said the new digital ID scheme, look at that, would make it tougher to work in the UK legally. It says, and offer countless benefits. It says to citizens, while his senior minister, Darren Jones, said it could be the bedrock of the modern state. Bear with me. It says, however, opposition parties argued the proposals would not stop people crossing the channel in small boats. So they're saying, look, even if this was to be even if this is the thing that we're going to approach and the problem with, they're still going to have people still coming in illegally. All right, rather through through boats or other methods. Okay, which shows you that, underlining that, there is another goal that they're going to try to reach. There is another way they're going to approach this situation. Okay, yeah, one party decides to speak on this, and then you have where another party decides, look, well, maybe we need a more of a stricter or requirement, or maybe we have to approach this with a more global how do I want to word it? Let's just leave it like that, right? Maybe we want to approach this with a more stricter system, I should say. Okay, and that's what Esau is gonna bring out, his other plan or scheme, okay, or plot. Okay, and who knows? That might just be the them introducing through gradualism that M to the O to the T to the B. Okay, it says the prime minister set out his plans in a broader speech to a gathering of world leaders. So these world leaders are getting together, and a lot of these times these world leaders get together, it's already something that they already done previously spoken about. It's just now making it global for everyone to know about it. But this is a lot of things for them to be able to speak verbally, all right, in code, or speak verbally about these things with it being televised, okay, with people tuning in. Okay, they might not know what true goal these devils might have, or these elites might have, or these global leaders might have, but they do, you see. But that's how Esau has to do things. He has to do it like he put it in your face, but at the same time without you are aware. They just sum it up with good, smooth words. Scripture say, they have they speak smooth words, but wars in their heart. Okay, that's how these devils are. Same thing when it comes to when you look at today's news, or when you look at these certain social media things that's taking place, they only tell you somewhat half of what the truth. You see, this is what's taking place in UK, and it's only going to get worse and come here to America as the worst state. It says in which he said it had been too easy for people to work illegally in the UK because the certain left hand been squeamish about saying things that were clearly true. Okay, so however they want to go about that, clearly there was mouths that wasn't speaking, supposedly according to these illegal immigrant entrances. Okay, they had some way to enter into the UK without nobody really tackling on what was taking place. All right, but which we know that these things ultimately is set up just like you have it in the US, man. Okay, you have these illegal immigrants coming in, setting up shop, working and doing all these things illegally. Like if they didn't know this was happening, they clearly know this things was happening, man. Esau, is all as much as his technology he has and border control and all these damn system, system of cameras and everything. Come on, man. Same thing with the UK. They already know these things, but this has been a long, ongoing, plan. That's what I, speak to the spirit, man. That's what I feel, man. Okay, but again, we're gonna see, what's gonna take place. But let's grab these scriptures right quick. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak And right now we're seeing that, man. Okay, we're seeing that these things that was, being talked about for so long now, is coming to action. It's coming to play. Okay, you had this thing with Elon Musk. Okay, speaking about the Neuralink. Okay, we had the whole, global thing with them closing and locking down, shutting down things. All right, for that jab. Now you have it where you have it where but even before that you had it with the digital ID, being established here in America, where you have to start having that to travel. All right, for you to get on a plane, you need to start having a real ID. All right, you needed these things to be able to get to a different state or different country. And now you have it in the UK where they're saying that you need a digital ID mandatory for you to be able to work. You see? And this is all leading up to things, all right, that's shooting towards that M to the O to the T to the B. All right, the RFID seal, man. It ain't no coincidence. This is all that these devils are doing right before the people's eyes, the mass of the people, man. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, to have a delay, though it seem to come slowly. What does Scripture say? It says, wait for it. It's going to surely come, though. It's going to surely come. All right, with these devils, coming out with this, RFID, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, man. Them talking about World War III, it's all going to happen, man. It's just a waiting game, and we waiting. It says because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So everything we saying, all right, through the Spirit, probably by YAHAWASHI, it's all going to take place. Okay, here, man. All right. And this is all according to prophecy. All right. Let's grab one more precept. This is the book of it's like in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. And it reads, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right. And we know that, it's been a whole lot of peace and safety. All right, peace and safety. Everything is good and gravy. All right. We know they've been saying this thing for a while now, but seeing how they've been approaching these situations, it's not been no peace and safety, man. Okay, and if you've been trusting and counting on Esau to come through for you, all right, this devil has been letting you down every time. You see, and that's what's going to happen to a lot of people that's trying to cleave on to these devils for when all this hell break loose, man. They're going to get caught up in the same destruction that's going to come upon this place. Okay, we say that because here you have it. This whole legal immigrant thing has led to where the UK is saying now we're going to stop these things with bringing out this digital ID, which is going to help eliminate the processes or the process of people trying to come over here illegally. So guess what? This means that if you don't have this digital ID, you're going to have to, or you're not going to be able to work. You see, you're not going to be able to work. So that's just another foot towards, pressuring and making it mandatory to those, all right, that don't even want to consent to what this is, man. You see, and this is in the UK, and this is going to ultimately come here to this place known as America, man. Okay, so once again, it's going to just get harder and tougher. It's already hard to live here and provide for your family here, all kinds of sorts of things, man. It's already hard and tough enough on these people, and they're going to just start to freak out and lose it, man. Okay, but it's articles that you can just go look into, look up yourself, and tap in, man, because we definitely about to see these devils amp it up a notch. All right, but through the spirit power by Shemel Shai, we already know what's taking place, man. But I'm gonna close it out with giving all glory and praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Once again, double honor to that I was an apostle with MILLSTONE, teach you well. Peace and blessings to the brothers for pushing this work and true sincerity to the scattered abroad. Shalom.